Hi, I'm Tiffany Butler. I'm the Senior Associate Director here at the University of Maine. I'm here today to talk to you about Money Matters. Really everything you need to know about financing your education at the University of Maine, paying your bill, obtaining student employment, any important documents that you need to bring to us as part of that process. So we're going to go over all of that today. Before we get started, I do want to remind you that we're really excited to offer different programs for you as part of our virtual student orientation this year. So if you haven't checked out our other offerings, you can actually find those right on our website, umaine.edu/StuAid. Once you're there, click on information for accepted students. You will find information on there. In addition to this Money Matters presentation, we will be bringing you some tutorials to walk you through some common financial aid questions that people might have and some tips we want to bring to you. In addition, we offer orientation Zoom advising, one-on-one advising with a financial aid professional from our office. So you can sign up for time slots on that right through our website, as well as our Financial Aid Fridays. So Financial Aid Fridays is something that we are really excited to bring to you this year. It's a live web series. You can watch it online. We have recorded them, so if you happen to miss the live session, you can write in questions and our financial aid professionals will answer them for you right then and there. So we're excited to bring this information to you, and we're also excited to see you on campus in the fall. Money Matters. This is our guide to financial information at the University of Maine and the University of Maine at Machias. Before we dive into that financial information, though, I do want to take a moment to talk to you about communication and privacy law that we're required to file here to follow here at UMaine, called FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So this law really it limits our ability to speak with anyone except the student after a certain date. So after August 15th, if parents are contacting us or really contacting any office on campus for specific student information, that information is protected. So that student information is protected. And I know we talk to a lot of families and we have parents saying, oh, but I'm paying the bill. Why can't you talk to me? We have to follow FERPA. We have to follow this law. So really we will be communicating with the students. However, your student does have the option of filling out a consent form and giving us permission to speak with parents, grandparents, most of the time, mom or dad, really anyone that they choose that they want us to talk to regarding their specific account information, really anything that we can see as far as private information on the student's Main Street account. So to access that form here at UMaine, it's actually located on our student records website. So you can find that form there for UMaine. And at the University of Maine at Machias, you will find that information on the financial aid website. So I would encourage you to seek out that form, to visit those websites, have your student complete the form if they wish for us to speak with you about their financial information, and submit it to those offices. Okay, other ways in which we communicate. So My Campus Student Portal. Now, I've been speaking to many families over the past several weeks, and it sounds like a lot of students have activated this information already. If you haven't yet, I'd say please do so as soon as possible. There's a wealth of information here. This is how we're communicating with our students. So through your My Campus Portal, this is where you would activate your University of Maine system account. You would need to activate your email. So that would be your name at maine.edu. So usually it's first name dot last name at maine.edu. And make sure not only that you're activating this information, but that you're checking this information as well. Check your email even over the summertime, just to make sure you're not missing any important information that you may be receiving from somewhere on campus. Also, make sure all of your mailing addresses in Main Street are kept up to date. If we're sending something to your home address and you've moved, or maybe you're moving close to campus and you want your mail to go there instead of home, just make sure you keep that information up to date. Like I said, we will communicate with you, the students through their maine.edu email. In Main Street, we have a message center, which we use to communicate with students. And I'll show you a screenshot from Main Street in a moment to kind of talk about what that message center looks like and where you'd see that information. There's also a to-do list on Main Street. I know many of you have already been checking these things. You've already submitted documents that might be on your to-do list, but we can kind of go over that too. And then, like I mentioned a moment ago, we would send you information in the mail at times as well. Okay, so this is what My Campus portal looks like. So you would access this by going to mycampus.maine.edu. So you can see the web address right there. Log in with your user ID and password, and then you can see the green circle on your screen. That is our Main Street icon. So you can select Main Street from the Launchpad. Once you're in Main Street, you would need to select Student Self-Service and then Student Center. So this is where you're going to see a lot of your information regarding your bill, your student financial aid, that message center, all of that. So that Student Center is a really important page in your Main Street account. Okay, and this is your Main Street Student Center. So this is a screenshot of what we're referring to. The first thing you notice when you look at this screen is the yellow at the top here that says you have one new message, Open Message Center. So anytime we send you something through the Message Center, so not only will you have this kind of bright yellow flashing message that you really can't miss when you go in here, but you'll also receive an email explaining that you do have a new message and asking you to go to your message center. So you've got that yellow banner at the top, but also you'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen, the very top box there, it says message center. So this particular student has one new and one old message. So we'd want to make sure that the student is looking at that, going in and reading that message. Several offices on campus use this as a way of communicating with students. The other thing that we have referenced on this screen is the to-do list. So on the right-hand side, you've got that message center. If you look a couple of boxes down, you'll see the to-do list. So this particular student has an official final high school transcript that is due. Many of you may still have that on your to-do list, as well as a direct loan master promissory note. So I'll talk a little bit later about the direct loan requirements. That is something that after you accept your loans, you may see on this to-do list. Also for students who've been selected for verification, this is where you would see us requesting the information that we need from you in order to continue processing your financial aid award. Other things that you can see on the Student Center, which really this is the hub of all of the information here on Main Street, but you can see your class schedule. You'll notice below that there's an account summary. It looks like maybe the student has paid a confirmation deposit, perhaps. They've paid a $300 deposit, at the time we took the screenshot. So there's different information here. View my bill. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. All right, so as far as financial aid goes, the first thing that you need to do when you're interested in applying for financial aid is to fill out the FAFSA. So that can be completed at fafsa.gov. I know many of you have probably already filed the FAFSA. The FAFSA did open up in October of 2019, actually, for the upcoming 2020-2021 academic year. So it opened up in October. The FAFSA is still available if you haven't filled that out yet. We do have a priority filing deadline of March 1 here at the University of Maine. So we would give priority awarding status to those students who apply by that date. If you have missed that deadline, there are still some forms of financial aid available to you. So I would absolutely encourage you to fill out that FAFSA if you have not already done so. After you fill out the FAFSA, you really want to log into Main Street and check that to-do list. So we just saw the to-do list on the previous slide. That is in your Student Center. I showed you how to get there through the My Campus portal. You can also go directly to Main Street by typing in mainstreet.maine.edu. That will take you directly to the Main Street page. So make sure you're keeping an eye on your to-do list, particularly after you filed that FAFSA. You may have some verification documents that you need to turn in. It may include some tax information. It may include just a form that we need you to fill out. We need your parents to fill out. So keep an eye on that to see if there's anything in there that we need from you. Oftentimes when we do list those verification items in your to-do list, you're also getting a letter sent to your home address to remind you to check that and that information in there. Our verification deadline was, for this year, it was June 1st. So we've just passed that date. Again, that's for people who file the FAFSA by March 1 and meet that on-time deadline. And then if you were selected for verification, you had until June 1 this year to turn in those verification documents here at UMaine. As far as transfer students actually had until June 1 to file the FAFSA, so incoming transfers, and meet that on-time status. And then as far as any to-do list items for verification that might be required for transfer students, those would be due July 1st. I should mention the exception to this here as far as those verification items is a final high school, like a high school completion document. So if the financial aid office is requesting a high school completion document, we know that you probably can't get that to us by June 1st. So we do give you some extra time to get that in. We won't hold up your award because of that. So just know if that's the remaining item on your to-do list, we will still need that. That actually gets sent through the normal process to our shared processing center. But we won't hold up in any on-time awards for that information. So after you've done the FAFSA, you have done your verification, we will award you. We will send a complete award packet, including your award letter. You'll have a packet with a wealth of information in there about financial aid, additional financing options. That will be sent to your home address. Once you receive that, of course, review it with your family. And then if you decide that you want to accept any loans that were offered to you in that package, or even to just review your award on Main Street, go to your Main Street Student Center. Again, there will be a link there called Accept Decline Awards. You want to click on that link. Select the 2021 aid year, and you can review your financial aid award there, accept any loans you might be offered. You can also reduce the loans so you don't have to borrow the whole amount that's offered to you. You can report any housing changes. So maybe when you filled out the FAFSA, you told us you would be living off campus, but maybe you're from the local area and you've changed your mind. Now you're planning to live with your parents. You can let us know that right through that link through the award acceptance process. You can report any enrollment changes. So when we award you financial aid, we award you based on 15 credits. If you are not planning to be 15 credits, say you're planning to be half-time, you can report that to us right there. As well as any outside scholarships or any outside assistance that you're receiving. So say you just learned about some outside scholarships that you're getting from your high school. That is where you can report that to us right there. Let us know what term you're receiving that money in, how much you're receiving, but also send us any letters that you've gotten from the high school for those as well, or any other organization that's awarded you that scholarship or outside assistance. Also through this link, you can complete the scholarship donor release. And you'll have a couple of ways to do this. So you can do this right on Main Street or with your packet that you received with your award letter. We did include a card in there where you can sign and complete that donor release, and you can send that back to us. What this does, it really opens up more scholarship opportunities to you, and it allows us to communicate with donors. So if you're awarded a scholarship, we're actually able to share your name and information with that donor who gave that scholarship money. So this is a really great thing to do, is to complete that scholarship donor release. All right, so a few things about our federal direct loans. So you may have been offered a federal direct subsidized loan. You also may have been offered a federal direct unsubsidized loan. A lot of people will ask me, what is the difference between those loans? So the subsidized loan is a loan that does not accrue interest while the student is in school. The unsubsidized direct loan will accrue interest while the student is in school. We've actually just heard about the new interest rates starting July 1 for those loans. They will be at 2.75% this year, which is the lowest we have seen them in a very long time. So that's a really great rate for those loans. So again, you would be offered those loans after filling out the FAFSA. They would be part of your financial aid award. So if you wish to accept them, you would log into Main Street, as we just talked about, that accept decline awards link. And then there's a couple of other things that you will need to do. And really, this is the first time that you are borrowing these loans. So there is a master promissory note that will be required, and entrance counseling. Those can be completed online at studentaid.gov. And both of these things will need to be completed before the loan funds can be sent to UMaine and be applied to your account. The good news about these, once you complete them, they're actually good for 10 years. So you shouldn't have to complete them again while you're in school. So this really should be a one-time thing for you. All right, so some additional financing options. So kind of following along the path of talking about loans here. So those federal direct loans, some of you may know the old Stafford loan program. Those are the loans that we offer to you as part of your financial aid award. So some other loan options that are available to you. One is a parent loan. So there's another federal loan for parents. So this is a loan that would be taken out in the parent's name. It's called a Parent Plus loan. You can apply for that loan at studentaid.gov. So that's the same website I just listed in the previous slide, where students can go complete the MPN and entrance counseling. This is also the website that you can use to apply for a Parent Plus loan. Now, parents, when you go into the site to apply for the loan, you will need to log in using that FSA ID and password. That's the same ID and password that you used when you completed the FAFSA with your student and signed that FAFSA. So these plus loans, they are credit-based loans. So you would apply for, a particular amount for these loans. If you happen to be declined for the loan based on your credit, the student can receive actually some additional unsubsidized direct loan eligibility. So as a first-year student, they would be eligible for up to $4,000 more in the unsubsidized direct loans. So another loan program that's available as an additional financing option are the alternative educational loans. These are those private student loans that a student would take out in their own name, most likely with a parent or another credit-worthy cosigner. You may already be working with your local bank or local credit union and talking to them already about these private student loans. You can also compare different lender options out there through a website that we work with called elmselect.com. So once you go into this website, you would indicate whether you are a University of Maine student or a University of Maine at Machias student, and it will show you a list of loans that are available to you as an undergraduate student, and it allows you to compare those different loan options. And once you have decided on the loan that you are looking to apply for, you would want to apply directly through the lender and talk directly to the lender about that loan, go through that application process with the lender. what will happen is after you've been approved through the lender for that loan, the lender will send the loan information to us here at UMaine, UMM. We will certify the amount of that loan. We send the information back to the lender, and then around the start of the school year, the lender will send the funds to us to disperse to your account here. We also have some scholarship options. So if you go to our website here at UMaine, umaine.edu/STUAID, click on types of aid and scholarships. So in this section of our website, you will find a few different options on there. We have some selective scholarships available for students, so I would encourage you to browse through, see if you meet any of the criteria for those scholarships. We did have a deadline, unfortunately, that is passed for those selective scholarships. However, I would not discourage you from applying for any of those if you do see one that you feel that you meet the criteria for a couple of reasons. Number one, once you apply for those scholarships, we will always keep your application on file. So even if you have missed the deadline for this year, you're an early applicant for next year. So we have your application on file to review for next year. Or the other thing that might happen is we may not have received a lot of applicants for that scholarship. So if the scholarship has a lot of funding in it, we don't have a lot of applicants, we may be able to look at our later pool of scholarship applicants and award from there for this year. So certainly I would encourage you to look through there, apply for any that you feel you may be eligible for as far as the selective scholarships go. We also provide links on that page to our colleges and different department scholarships that might be available. So look through those. Again, some may have had earlier deadlines, but I would still encourage you to reach out to departments, to look at those websites, see what's out there. We also offer some trusted scholarship outside scholarship web links. So, different websites that you can go to and do scholarship searches and see if any of those apply. Okay, so reporting outside aid and scholarships. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier when we were looking at the information for the Main Street Student Center. So when you go in and you view your financial aid award and you accept that financial aid award, there's also the option to report to us any outside aid that you're receiving. So you'll definitely want to do that through Main Street. In addition to that, any scholarship checks that you are receiving should be sent to our office, so the Office of Student Financial Aid. Even if the check is written out to the student, it should be processed through our office. And I know some of you are receiving those checks this time of year. Those do need to go through our office. We will put them on the student account for you. Any paperwork you have regarding any scholarship awarding can be sent to us. At UMaine, we have a secure document upload. So if you do have scholarship letters that you would like to send to us, you can go to umaine.edu/STUAID/upload. That is our secure upload site, so you can upload any scholarship documents there. University of Maine at Machias, you will be able to email or fax those documents to their office, so that will have your scholarship information there as well. That donor release, again, so I can't tell you enough how important it is to do this donor release form. Our donors just really like to hear about the students that are receiving their scholarships, as well as if you are awarded a scholarship from the University of Maine, our donors love to receive those thank you letters and love to hear directly from our students. So please keep that in mind, how important that really is to the donors that generously give to the University of Maine and our students. So reporting your enrollment. So financial aid is based on 15 credits per semester. So that award that you have, your merit scholarship that you receive from the admissions office is all based on at least 15 credits per semester. If you happen to be enrolled in less than 15 credits per semester, you would report that to us through Main Street. right through that accept decline awards link again. So just keep in mind, some types of aid will be reduced if students are fewer than 15 credits. But the good news with that is students can take advantage of any funds that are lost due to that reduction can be used towards classes this coming summer, so the summer of 2021. So even if, you know, this coming summer you take one online class from home, you can still use that aid to go towards those summer classes. So definitely something to keep in mind. Something else to keep in mind when it comes to your enrollment. So we have a statement here that adding additional credits in order to retain your full award does not always result in a lower bill or more of a refund. Because we do bill by the credit hour here at UMaine, you and the University of Maine at Machias, you will need to take into account the cost of the credits that you're adding, so those additional credits versus any scholarship reduction amount you may have. And I know that might sound a little bit confusing. I really would encourage you to reach out to the financial aid office, talk to a professional in our office. We can really go through that with you, you know, on a one-on-one basis to kind of look at what those changes might look like in your financial aid award. Again, it's some types of aid, it's not all types of aid. Many times we see that the student is actually the money that they have lost due to that reduction of being less than 15 credits is actually less than it would cost them to add those additional credits and take on that extra for that semester. So again, general information about this, but really to talk about anything specific, I really would encourage you to reach out to our office and we can kind of look at that with you. Okay, so some important financial aid reminders. So you would need to fill out the FAFSA every single year. So I mentioned earlier that the FAFSA for the current year opened up October 1st of 2019. Keep in mind, it opens up every October 1st. So for next year, for the 21-20 academic year, the FAFSA will be opening up again starting October 1st. Watch for our priority filing deadline. Typically that is March 1st. So watch for that deadline to make sure you're filling out that FAFSA on time. Again, watch your Main Street to-do list. Check your maine.edu email account. Watch for information that we send to you in the mail, just to make sure our office has, you know, everything we need from you in order to provide you with that financial aid award. Make sure you're submitting all of your required documentation. So at this point, some of the final things you might have on your to-do list for the upcoming year, you may need to submit a final high school transcript. Student records may need your immunization records. So make sure you're paying attention to what is required and you're sending that information to us. And a final note here about financial aid. If your situation changes, and I know we've talked to a lot of families who've had some changes. So if your financial situation changes, if you've experienced job loss, unusually high medical bills, anything like that, contact the Office of Student Financial Aid. We have a way to simulate kind of what those changes might do to that expected family contribution, that figure that comes from the FAFSA, and in turn how that may possibly affect your financial aid award. So again, reach out to us. We'll be happy to talk to you about that. Just a word on financial education and wellness. So we have a few different programs for students. We're really excited this past year to have a new financial literacy and peer education program at UMaine. There is a new program starting at the University of Maine Machias. We've got some great students working for us. These are student peer educators. They're trained to work with their fellow students to talk about financial wellness, to talk about making smart financial decisions. You know, giving budgeting advice one-on-one. They'll be doing student events and programs, you know, in the coming year. So I would encourage students to watch out for that, because I think that's a really great resource to have some highly trained students right on our campus working with their peers. iGrad is an online resource. iGrad has information on managing your student loans, on budgeting, goal setting. There's even some searching for scholarship information on here. So you can see the website on your screen, umaine.igrad.com. I would encourage you to check that out. And then also ECMC. So ECMC is our debt management partner. Students may not be hearing from ECMC early on in your careers, but just keep in mind when it comes time to graduate, start paying back those loans, you may be speaking with someone from ECMC at that time. Okay, so that is it as far as the financial aid and the financial aid information and award information I wanted to talk to you about. But also we want to talk about some student employment information and federal work study. So you would actually receive federal work study as part of your financial aid award. However, please keep in mind, federal work study does not get applied directly towards your bill. It does not pay that bill. Federal work study is paid to students for the hours they work, and it's paid in a biweekly paycheck. We do encourage our students to sign up for direct deposit for an easy way to receive those funds and to receive that paycheck. Students can receive can earn up to the amount of that they were awarded as part of their financial aid award. Some positions do require that students have federal work study. However, we also have positions both on our campus and off campus that don't require students to have federal work study. So we do have a mix. So I would encourage you to look into that. Check your financial aid award to see if you're awarded federal work study. If not, just know that there are jobs out there for students who don't have federal work study. Another common question that we get about this are, if you don't earn all of your federal work study, can you carry any unearned portion of that over to the next academic year? You can't. You have the award that federal work study is awarded to you for each year. You can earn up to that amount, but if you don't earn the entire award, we can't carry it over to the following year. So we have a student employment office on our campus. The student employment office has many functions, which include assisting students with finding jobs, both for those federal work study and non-federal work study jobs. We do have an online job search that students are able to use. It's called CareerLink. You should be receiving that information soon through your maine.edu email. You would have a login and a password, and you can log in and start your job search there. Submit applications. You may also want to reach out to your academic departments or different areas of interest to see what type of employment opportunities might be available to you. I want you to pay special attention to the gray box on the bottom of your screen here. For anybody who's planning to work on campus, we do need you to bring some information with you to complete the paperwork process and to be able to obtain that student employment. We need there are three options for you as far as what we need for documentation. So option one, we can take a valid, and it has to be unexpired passport. So that would satisfy the identification requirement for the paperwork that you need to fill out. Option two, we could take an original birth certificate and a photo ID, like the ID in your driver's license. Or option three is to bring your original Social Security card. Of course, we can't take photocopies, and a photo ID. So a driver's license or a Maine state ID would work for that. So definitely, if you're planning on working, whether it's a work study or a non-work study job, make sure you have this information with you so that you can work while you're here at UMaine and UMaine Machias. Okay, so Now we're going to talk about the bill, and some important billing reminders here. So for fall, the first bill will be mailed to you in mid-July. And payment for that bill is due September 15th for this fall. So that bill will include your direct expenses, such as your any course charges, the tuition and fees, room and board. That would all be on your initial bill to students, and that will be sent to your home address that's listed on Main Street. So that first bill is mailed to you. Keep in mind, if you change the number of credits that you're taking, if you end up switching your classes around at all, change to a single room, any changes that you make like that may change the amount that is due on your bill. So again, you get that first initial bill sent to your home address, but you can always see your current balance rate on your Main Street account. For the spring semester, the first bill is mailed in mid-December, and payment for that is due January 15th. Again, tuition is based on the total number of credit hours that you are taking. So you would want to check your total enrollment against the tuition that you're being charged. Make sure you've registered for all of your classes, before that bill is generated. Again, if you make changes after that, that is okay, but you will see that on your Main Street account. It may not be reflected on that paper bill. To review the tuition and fees amount, we have our Bursar's office website here, umaine.edu/bursar/tuition-and-fees. So that's where you can see some more information about the tuition and fee amounts for this upcoming fall. So the payment options, specifically for the University of Maine. So you can see on your screen here the Bursar's office mailing address. So you can send cash or check directly to the Bursar's office at this address. If you are using a credit card or an electronic check, you can pay that online through Main Street. They do have more information on that on the Bursar's office website. So you can see the payment options link right here on your screen. You can also sign up for a payment plan through Main Street, and there is some information on that as well on the Bursar's office website at their payment options link. University of Maine at Machias, you will see there for a cash or check payment, you will see the address right here on the screen. Again, if you want to make a credit card or an electronic check payment, you can go to the payment options link for information to do that. For payment plan information for the University of Maine Machias, you want to contact their billing office. Their number is right here, 207-255-1203, and you'll be able to speak with someone who can give you more information on their payment plan options. So just to break it down a little bit for the UMaine payment plan, we do offer two different options. For a payment plan, it is a plan that you would sign up for by semester. So right now you would be able to sign up for the fall payment plan. You're not able to do a plan across the entire year. So these plans are available to help spread out the payment for your billed charges. So that tuition, the fees, room and board, you can spread that up into 5 payments over the course of the semester. You can enroll for this through Main Street, or students have a way of making parents an authorized user on TouchNet. And the University of Maine Bursar's office, we do have some more information on TouchNet right on our website, umaine.edu/bursar, B-U-R-S-A-R. So you can find more information there about authorizing a user. So you can authorize a parent, someone like that, to view that TouchNet account, which will allow them to view your student bill here. There are no interest charges on this payment plan. There is, however, a $30 per semester setup fee due at the time that you enroll for the plan. And as far as the payments for those plans go, you can automatically schedule the payments, or you can manually go in each month and make those payments on that. So as far as the payments go, for the payment plan, you can pay by electronic check, ACH, or credit card payments. Payments by credit card do incur a 2.85% convenience fee. So just keep that in mind if you are planning to use a credit card to pay your payment plan. And also keep in mind, make sure you're making those payments on time. This might be a good reason to schedule those payments so you don't accidentally miss a payment date, because there will be a $25 late fee for each late payment for the payment plan. As I mentioned earlier, you can assign authorized users to view your account, to view that student bill. Authorized users can enroll in a payment plan, you can initiate payments, and you can monitor this plan on the student's behalf. So again, the website here, umaine.edu/bursar/user will give you information about indicating for the student to indicate who they would want to be an authorized user on their account. Okay, so I mentioned earlier there are two different payment plan options at UMaine. The first one we're going to talk about is the calculated plan. So payments in the calculated plan are based on the student's account balance minus any accepted financial aid. So the account balance minus any aid that has not yet dispersed to that account. The installment amounts that are calculated for this particular plan will automatically increase or decrease throughout the semester based on any changes as far as the charges go. So changes in classes, the number of credits students are taking, or changes in the financial aid award. If student receives any outside payments or outside scholarships on that account, those plans can fluctuate as far as the upcoming payments. So I mentioned you could do a 5-payment plan. There's also a 4-payment plan option. For the 5-payment plan, you would need to enroll by August 15th. It is a 20% down payment, so 1/5 of your total amount due, and then you'll have 4 more installments due on the 15th of each month through December 15th. So you'll be paying the entire amount due during that fall semester, but you're able to divide that up into 5 monthly payments. We also have a 4-installment plan for students or parents who enroll by September 15th. And again, you know, that's divided up into 4 payments. So your 25% down payment would begin on September 15th. And then you would have 3 more installments due October 15th, November 15th, as well as December 15th. Okay, so our second plan that we offer at UMaine is an estimated plan. So for the estimated plan, you would, you know, as it sounds, you would estimate what you want to pay, what you want to finance as part of this payment plan. So it does not do the calculation for you as far as our calculated plan. So for the estimated plan, students can use a plan worksheet to enter charges, any anticipated aid, any anticipated scholarships that you're receiving, and determine what the monthly payment amount should be based on that. So once you establish this, the amounts remain static. So I mentioned before the calculated plan, you may see changes in the amounts due to changes in your enrollment, number of credits you're enrolled in, things like that. This one won't change. You say how much you want to finance, and it is what it is. So the amounts remain static. If you do need to make any changes, you would need to contact our bursar's office directly to make those changes. So students who anticipate payments later in the semester from outside sources. So, you know, if you have any third parties, you know, if your employer is paying anything, or again, any outside scholarships that you're receiving, anything like that that you haven't already reported as anticipated aid, you may want to consider using this estimated payment plan to prevent a larger initial monthly payment that you would have with the calculated plan that would then be reduced later on once that adjustment is made in the calculated plan after those funds come in. So this estimated plan might be a good choice for you if you know you do have something coming in the middle of the semester that hasn't already been calculated into that award. So this one, same as with the calculated plan, really, as far as being able to sign up for a 5-payment plan if you enroll by August 15th, or a 4-payment plan if you enroll by September 15th. So you're either able to divide this into 5 payments across the semester, or 4 payments with the final payment being due December 15th. Okay, so anticipated resources. So for anticipated resources, this is something that you would report to the bursar's office for any type of resource coming in to help pay your bill that is not shown on that first bill, that is not part of the financial aid award. So a couple of really common examples of this are if you have a 529 plan, those college savings plans, this is how you can let us know about that. If you've applied for any alternative loans, any Parent Plus loans, maybe they're still in the process, but they haven't been listed on that first bill. You know, they're not on your financial aid award quite yet. You would want to make sure the bursar's office knows about these so you can avoid receiving a $100 late fee. So make sure that you report these as anticipated resources before the billing due date, which for this coming fall is September 15th. Anticipated resources, you know, we just talked about the calculated payment plan and how that can change. Any anticipated funds that you put into here will not cause that calculated plan to recalculate. So the bursar's office does have some nice instructions on those anticipated resources that you can find right on their website, umaine.edu/bursar/resources. So if you do have any of those funds that you're planning to use to pay your bill, make sure you report them on the anticipated resources page. Nobody wants to receive that extra $100 late fee by not either making the payment or notifying us of what you're expecting to come in for funds before, again, that September 15th due date. Okay, so student authorization and account management. Again, we have some really nice instructions on the bursar's office website for student authorization, umaine.edu/bursar/authorization. This is where you can authorize the bursar's office to apply financial aid to all the charges on your account. So for example, students who may receive a parking ticket, students who may have a library fine, or even students who may want financial aid to apply to a different semester. So you can request those credit balances be held for future charges. So say for some reason you're receiving more funding for the fall semester than for the spring semester, and instead of receiving that refund, you may want to leave that on your account to carry forward from fall to spring to help pay that spring bill. You can do that. So again, there's 2 components here: authorizing your financial aid to apply to all of your charges, and you can also on this page request that any credit balances be held for future charges. So 2 different things that you can do here. I would definitely encourage you to go in and check that out. All right, so I had mentioned earlier you can authorize another person to view your bill and pay your bill. Remember at the beginning of the presentation, we had also spoken about the student consent to release information form. These are 2 separate processes. If you want us to speak with your parents about any of your UMaine information, your financial aid, anything like that, after August 15th, I encourage you to fill out the student consent to release information form. Authorizing a user to view or pay the bill is different than the student consent. So you can authorize someone to view your account information, to make payments on your behalf, and it is not the same as the student consent form. This person can receive billing statements with an email notification, And to do this, you would want to complete this on Main Street through TouchNet. So you'll see another link here. I believe we kind of looked at this earlier as far as authorizing a user, umaine.edu/bursar/user. And students can go in there and authorize other persons to, again, view or pay their bill at UMaine or UMaine Machias. Direct deposit. So many of our students are registered for direct deposit. I would encourage you to sign up for this, especially if you are expecting a refund from your fall or spring bills. You know, students may have more financial aid coming in than their bill, or maybe you've applied for an alternative loan and you're planning on you know, using the additional amount from that after the bill is paid to pay for maybe off-campus housing or any other educational expense. Signing up for direct deposit is really the most seamless way, the easiest way to receive that refund. It can be done through any U.S. bank account. It is definitely very fast. You know, typically the money comes in, we'll deposit the money into your account at the bursar's office. It is sent to your bank that evening. It does depend on bank processing times as far as when that money is available in your bank. Many times I have seen that money is available the next day, maybe the following day, so it is really quick. In the past, the old way of doing things, you know, we used to have lines of students waiting at the bursar's office to receive the refund check, or we would have, you know, students waiting for that refund check to be mailed. We really don't need to do things that way anymore. It is much quicker if you just sign up for the direct deposit. So I would encourage you to check that out. You know, as you're going through different things that you need to sign up for and do before coming to campus in the fall, this is one thing that I would have you do, is sign up for that direct deposit. Okay, so the student health insurance plan. So all students at UMaine are required, and the University of Maine Machias are required to have student health insurance. It is automatically billed to students once per year during the fall semester. The annual cost of this health insurance for this coming year is $2,248, and the coverage is effective from August 1st of this year until July 31st of next year. So this is something that you will definitely need to take action on. So if you already have health insurance, you will need to go online, complete an online waiver to opt out of that health insurance, opt out of the university health insurance. You will need to have your health insurance information handy when you opt out of this, because you will need your health insurance number when you do the opt-out process. If you don't have comparable health insurance, however, in order to take advantage of the university health insurance, you will need to enroll online. And this will allow you to be fully enrolled in the program and to receive your insurance card. So you'll see here again, there's more information on doing that on the bursar's office website, umaine.edu/bursar/insurance, and that will link you up with that online waiver form if you need to do that, or you can take advantage of the insurance by signing up through information on that website. Okay, the financial responsibility statement. So this is something, you may have already done this for this year. It does need to be completed every semester, every single year. Students are not able to register for classes until this is complete. So this is something where you would confirm your financial responsibility for any charges incurred as a student. So this is something you need to read through and agree to every semester that you are enrolled or that you wish to enroll. So as soon as you complete the student financial responsibility statement, the hold, registration hold is immediately lifted. If you haven't already done so, you can access this through your Main Street Student Center. We looked at that to-do list earlier, so you can find it right on your to-do list. And here is a another screenshot again, just to remind you of what that looks like as far as the Main Street Student Center. You can see the to-do list right here, kind of on the center of the right-hand side. You'll see that blue hyperlink there for the financial responsibility statement. So students can click on that to fill that out. You can also see on the left-hand side of your screen in this finances section, there is a view my bill and a pay my bill link. So you've got billing information here. You can see your account activity. You have a direct deposit link. When it comes time for tax time, the 1098-T is something that you know, students or maybe parents might be interested. You'll need that to do your taxes. So you can click on that there. Okay, so just some tips as far as billing and bursars information goes. Be aware of your financial deadlines. So again, that billing due date for the fall semester, September 15th. The billing due date for the spring semester is January 15th. You can see here that there is a little calendar icon on your class schedule. So you can see the financial deadlines there. Pay attention to registration or refund holds. If you do see that you have a hold on your Main Street account, it will often tell you what needs to be done in order to get that removed so you can register. Again, that financial responsibility statement is something that will need to be completed in order to register for classes in the fall if you haven't already done so. Your to-do list on Main Street, again, it's a very important piece of information, an important way that we communicate to you what is still required for information from you. So make sure that you monitor that. Monitor your account as well in the finances section of the Student Center. Enroll in direct deposit. Really important for students that are receiving refunds, so you don't have to wait for that check to come in the mail. And again, I just mentioned the 1098-T. You can grant consent actually to receive that electronically, so you don't have to wait for that to come in the mail come tax time. Okay, and then we have some contact information here. So first, the University of Maine at Machias, the Office of Student Financial Aid and Billing. You can find mailing address, telephone number, email address. So I know I gave you a wealth of information today, but certainly if you have any questions, this is how you can reach out to UMM for more information. And so now we have some contact information for the University of Maine. So you can see here the Office of Financial Aid, the Office of Student Employment, and the Bursar's Office. Again, our mailing address, phone numbers, email address. We have a lot of information on our websites. So I would certainly encourage you to check out our websites, see what you can find for information there, but certainly reach out to us. We are more than happy to help you out with any questions that you may have.